So my first item is the Super Mario Paint kit that this is in its original box. It's got all of the items in it. It has the plastic sleeve.
I thought we were doing Dreamcast. What's going on?
Dreamcast?
Welcome to the latest edition of the Double Plus Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Episode 1 of the Double Plus Collectables Roadshow. Today we will discuss 3 Dreamcast games or items apiece that have sentimental value, monetary value, or nostalgic value. It is the return of myself, Anthony, alongside the man behind the magic of the show, Neal. Today we'll be surprising each other with 3 Dreamcast-related items as we go up and down the highways and byways of the West Coast.
You called last time, right?
Yeah, last time I was Tails.
That's right. See, I always choose Tails because it's always Tails. Like when we were playing NFL 2K or whatever, always Tails. Always Tails. Here we go. It's heads.
Ooh. Oh, wow. I wasn't even thinking. How about we'll start it off with you this time. We'll rotate.
Oh, we're all right. Good. Well, then we'll just go back and forth. That's how we'll do it from now on. All right. So, Dreamcast. Seriously, we could have like 4 shows on this. I didn't even get to touch the games. I had Sega Bass Fishing. I can even show a stack of the games. I might even do that for our Dreamcast community. But I'm going to go, like, people can see games and be like, oh, that's a great game, or I have not seen that game. But most of the Dreamcast games people have seen. So I'm going to throw a couple things up there that people haven't. And I'm going to start with this bizarre entry that most people are like, what in the name of Jim Jam are you doing? This was back in the day when we had things called televisions that would air broadcasts of shows. They would put out this compendium every week called the TV Guide. And the TV Guide from December of 1999 had the Shenmue on the cover. And that one is, holy cow. This is a piece of history, not only because you get to see the majesty of Shenmue being on the cover. Anthony, you and I just recently talked about this. When you would see a game or games being featured in the news, whether it be virtual racing.
Yeah, we were just talking about virtual racing, Good Morning America type shows in any capacity when there was something gaming related to be seen on TV, memorabilia-wise, on magazines around town, talking 15, 20 years ago. You would cling to it or, go to it automatically because it wasn't a regular site.
Things haven't changed too much, but they've also changed a lot. So we've got the X-Files ad in there. It's brand new.
Wow.
It has the guy from the Terminator, but it also has a picture of The Sims to start the article. So this talks about how, and everyone starts the same, Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Donkey Kong, Sonic are names synonymous with the golden days of misspent youth. Misspent youth. See, they just don't. Anyways, so this article had a lot of stuff talking about the Dreamcast coming out, and there's Jet.
Well, Jet Set even made it in there, huh? Jet Set Radio. Wow.
They've got a look at the cutting edge of gaming software. And I apologize. This one actually is from 2000. Yeah, this is from 2000.
Wow.
Because they're talking about the Nintendo being available October 2001. So this is and Sony PlayStation as well. So this was a piece that I don't think everybody's very excited about the launch of Shenmue 3.
Shenmue 3 in November.
Yep. But this, TV Guide #1 and #2, one that features a Dreamcast game of all things on the front cover. Bananas. It's going to be hard to top TV Guide.
I have a piece here that's more sentimental. And then I have a piece here that's more cementing the fact of something Dreamcast was great at. But I will start off with something, since this is the Gaming Collectible Roadshow. I will start off with the one piece that probably does have some value and is considered somewhat rare. Before I show it, I'll be honest. This is not something that I'm not like, this game is so great you have to add it to your collection just because it's rare and sought after. Like I said in the previous episode, the things I like to buy are things that I'm actually legitimately interested in or enjoy. And when I had purchased this title at the time, after the Dreamcast death, it was done because it did look cool. and I'm a fan of the genre, but I have to be very honest. I just was not a huge fan of the game itself. Anyway, it is a title called Border Down, and this was done by G-Rev. It came out in the fall of 2003. It hit Japanese arcade spring of 2003. And G-Rev was comprised of a series of programmers, developers that had backgrounds with various shooting games, primarily Taito employees. They had worked on stuff such as Ikaruga. I always want to mess up and say G Darius, but I don't believe. Well, Taito would be G Darius. So yeah, so
Elevator action.
Yeah, but yeah. So this is actually the limited edition. So as you can see, there's a little bit of disc art and booklet, and then there's also the soundtrack. This was a time when, so this is a horizontal shooter, but this is a time where companies were starting to move away from sprites and trying to figure out the magic of utilizing, whether it be 3D ships, 3D spaces on a 2D plane. Anyway, Border Down is, I would say, pretty heavily sought after and has some value. It is probably one of my more rare Dreamcast titles, but on a personal note, this is not a Radiant Silvergun or Ikaruga in terms of actual shooter quality. But my first item of 3 today goes to Border Down.
Oh man. All right. So now what I was going to do is show, again, artifacts. TV Guide. That's a really nice one. But this one I don't think I've seen anywhere else. But in my collection, I don't think I've seen this anywhere. And I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong in this. But there's you'd think it's a Space Channel 5 lunchbox. And it's not. It's a promo kit for Space Channel 5. I got terrible glare on this. This promo kit for Space Channel 5. And this one is like a lunchbox. It's got, I will take pictures of this so you can see it in all its beautiful non-reflective glory. But it has your little characters around the side. I've got 2 of these. They were made in China. And back then, that was a big deal. Back in 2000. It has 2 clasps, no handle. But when you open it up, you're like, oh, it has nothing in it. Oh, it's empty. Well, what it did have in it was this shirt, which I have had forever. And this shirt has the 2 guys on the back, which again, I might be able to share. But I have to take my thing off, and this is a family show. But anyways, this has the lovely Ooh La La on the cover, and this is prior.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Getting what did they ever settle that lawsuit? I'm sure they did, between Ooh La La and the lead singer of Grooves in the Heart. Why can't I think of the name? Miss. Oh my gosh, we'll just call her Miss Clavel from the Madeline shows. So the lead singer of Delight wound up suing Sega for her likeness being used in the game. And that is a very interesting time, because I remember seeing, when I first saw Space Channel 5, it's immediately what I went to.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the only Space Channel 5 knowledge I've got is I know towards the end of the original, they wanted Michael Jackson in there and he had a cameo. And then on the second one, Space Channel 5 2, he was even on the Japanese cover and was in the game. I do have that, but I don't have it to show because I wasn't thinking Space Channel 5. Plus, it wouldn't have fit because I actually have it on PlayStation, not Dreamcast.
Delight singer loses Sega lawsuit in 2006.
Wow.
She said that Sega had misappropriated her likeness in Space Channel 5, but the court disagreed. Bunch of Dreamcast fanboys. Plus, what are you going to get? Blood from a stone at that point? That was Sega going, yes, we have a victory. And then they released Sonic. Was it Sonic 06 or whatever?
Right.
Any good?
But I can't imagine it being that bad because it's Xbox 360. It's only slightly over 10 years old. I mean, how bad could this it's gonna isn't it?
So there's, again, another piece of retro, again, people that may not have seen it, but are like, whoa, I didn't even know that thing existed. That's kind of what my bit is about right now.
Yeah, mine's a little bit more all over the place. I wasn't just going for value, so I may be a little bit off on this for the Collectables Roadshow. But then again, what I consider not really collectible may be collectible to many others, as the system is now 2 decades old. So to me, it feels like just yesterday, but this stuff is starting to age. So this one I'll kind of breeze through. My next pick is kind of a 3-in-1. Much like the Sega Saturn, the Dreamcast was known for its 2D supremacy, arcade-perfect conversions of stuff from their own Naomi architecture, CPS2, Capcom's board, CPS3, super animation heavy, and one of my favorite gaming experiences of all time, which was fully realized on the Dreamcast hardware, would be the Capcom versus SNK series. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to whip through this for my item 2. Here's the original CVS on Dreamcast, Japanese art there. And if I can get this open, we'll see a little bit of the disc art there. And I'm going to breeze through. So here we've got mainstays. We've got Ryu of Capcom, Kyo of SNK kind of battling it out on a cool cover there. Action shot. And then they released shortly thereafter CVS Pro, which was a tweaked version. Think of it maybe like a Turbo. All characters unlocked, some other minor nuances while people waited for CVS 2. But this one takes that cover and puts a comedic twist on it with Dan and Joe. So you've got Dan of Capcom, comedic character who was originally made to poke fun at the art of fighting, mainstay characters Ryo and Robert. And then we've got Joe Higashi of Fatal Fury in a silly shot. And then lastly, to round out this somewhat of a trilogy, was the swan song for the series at the time, Capcom versus SNK 2, beautiful cover by SNK Shinkuro artist, who now has been working for Capcom for a decade and a half. So that one is more a little bit of collectability. I don't think they're probably setting the world on fire with their pricing, but that is a very nostalgic and memorable set of titles on the Dreamcast.
That's so funny, because I remember Dan only from Super Puzzle Fighter.
Oh.
And he was always coming out, he'd always go, yo, you shit, and he'd be crying all the time. And
yeah.
And then also SNK...
Card Fighters.
Card
Yeah,
Fighters
Neo Geo
Clash.
Pocket.
That's right. Capcom versus SNK and SNK versus Capcom, Card Fighters Clash, which is for another show. But yeah, that game got me introduced to every one of those characters, and I wouldn't have got there otherwise.
So what do you got for here? Double Plus episode 1 of the Video Gaming Roadside Collectibles Show. What do you got for item 3 of 3?
Because I feel like I gypped off the people from our Dreamcast. They came in and they're like, hey, this guy says he has a crazy Dreamcast collection. TV guide? That guy's an idiot. But the Our Dreamcast crew, by the way, everybody on Our Dreamcast has been freaking awesome. Like, the feedback has been great. It's not like 8 million people. There's been like 3 or 4 people who have written in. Everyone positive, and I absolutely appreciate that. So here's where I wanted to go. I pulled out a game week from May 12th, 1999.
E3 99.
That's your first E3, I think, right?
Yeah.
Which was, it was May 1999, right?
May 99, that was my first E3.
I was going in here for Dreamcast stuff. I'm like, I'm going to pull out the 99 game week. There is freaking nothing in here for Dreamcast at all. Now, I know that they were going through some crisis at the time.
Yeah, but they had a big presence at that show, so I'm a little surprised.
Yeah,
They had
Simon
a
&
huge
Schuster Interactive is a big one in here.
The E3 show daily probably had more stuff, but I am still surprised there was nothing in there.
Yep. No smoke, no mirrors, no loud music. Just killer games. Interplay. With their... Do they have Alone in the Dark in there? No, MDK2, Star Trek New Worlds. No mention of Alone in the Dark. What's Interplay without that? Yeah, nothing in there. Sorry. So I was hoping to pull out like, hey, when they announced the Dreamcast, they announced it on this. Now, real quick, I've got a side note, and I know we are running up against time, but Anthony, you know this, but I mentioned this to somebody, and this is how I got introduced to the Dreamcast community. Somebody was doing a historical retrospective of the Dreamcast. In May of 1999, the Dreamcast was just a short 4 months away at $99.99.
Right.
But that's not true. It was only 1 month away, because on 6/15/1999, Hollywood Video in the United States launched the Sega Dreamcast for rental along with 2 titles. Well, it was Sonic originally. I think there was another title that was added into that, but Sonic the Hedgehog, the original Sonic version, was available for rent from Hollywood Videos from 6/15 to September before the game's launch. And you could rent it with a credit card and I think it was $25.
That sounds about right.
But
I don't think it would be 50. I think 25 probably.
yeah, it was a $200 deposit on your credit card, which you'd get back, and then the 25.
Right.
That deal was a terrible one for Sega because Hollywood Video, trust me, I know, I work there. That's where I was a buyer. Hollywood Video wound up balking on paying Sega Dreamcast or Sega millions of dollars for that. So we were supposed to do a rev share on that. That never happened. And Sega wound up staggering. Bernie Stolar left right at the beginning of the launch. So August, he left. It was a travesty at the start. So 6/15/99 is when the thing actually launched. Again, that's why I was hoping I'd share that. But you know what? This press kit has, Anthony, maybe you can help me. Who's this guy here?
Well, there's a Kiryuki of Virtua Fighter, but I don't want to be a super nerd. I was keeping my mouth shut. That almost looks like VF4 CG art, but I don't think it is. Then there's a Shenmue 2 character, which I'm going to get sliced and diced for not knowing her name right now. You've got Sonic Adventure style art, NFL 2K, and then a guy from Crazy Taxi, I believe.
Yay! Get ready to make some crazy money. So this press kit, hang on a sec. I'm going to open it up. It has a zipper on it. The zipper.
Yep.
Whoop. And inside of it, you're going to love this. It has a Sega Dreamcast web browser.
Wow. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
From the wired by AT&T WorldNet service. Explore the World Wide Web, send and receive email, chat with people from across the globe. It's like a chat room. I'm going to put a photo up here too, but look at this. Look at the screenshots from this. They're gorgeous. Wow. Super high res. It's like a Game Boy cartridge.
Hey, you know what? At least you got something in that case, though. It wasn't just an empty case with a disc.
Oh, no. You're absolutely right. So from that, we also have some press materials. Oh, we also have their introduction for when they're going to roll out their SegaNet, which is...
SegaNet, huh?
So SegaNet, is this an open piece?
It's so funny. I've been watching some old shows online. I won't open that can of worms now, but I was looking at old SegaNet logos and ads, and then what was it, Heat.net? It's crazy.
So this is about licensing. Holy crap. So this is a licensing booklet on how you can license Sega properties. They have Choo Choo Rocket in there.
Right.
Sonic Underground, which I don't even know what the hell that is.
I'm not sure what that is either.
Sonic Adventure, hang on a sec. Jet Grind Radio, Echo the Dolphin, Space Channel 5, all in here. Again, I'll take pictures of this, but it's crazy. Oh, this is all the licensing crap. So, and you can contact Sega of America Dreamcast Inc. And then the last piece is a Dreamcast special pin.
Oh, I've never seen that one.
Wow. It has a Walt Disney World crossover. I think this is part of the licensing thing. Walt Disney World 2000. Celebrate the future. Hand in hand. I thought it said head to head, but it's Disney. It has to be hand in hand. Celebrate the future by licensing our crap. And I'll zip that bad boy back up. So to keep it perfectly sealed, these things are just like the day I got them. There's no they haven't aged today, except with content. The content's aged tremendously badly.
Well, as we start to wrap up this episode 1 here, my final piece, another nostalgic memento, and what this does is it's just driving home the point that much like the Saturn, the Dreamcast was a master at 2D conversions. Even though the Dreamcast was wonderful in pushing 3D development forward and really did get to stand on its own 2 legs for a bit against PlayStation 2, the Dreamcast architecture was never fully realized due to getting cut short, only having been on the market about 2.5 years. So we'll never really know what could have been in terms of its 3D technology getting fully maxed out. With that being said, another 2D offering, a lot of great memories with Street Fighter III. Dreamcast was also home to Street Fighter III Third Strike, which is not shown. This contains the original 1997 CPS3 title Street Fighter III, as well as its follow-up Giant Attack. Now, up until very recently, legally, the only way you could own this at home was via this, but about 16 months ago, the Street Fighter 30th anniversary packs for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, which are only about $20-30 now, they do include Street Fighter 3 and Giant Attack for collectors. So awesome renditions. And then as we close this out, while that is my third item, just to show, we've seen stuff based off Sega's Naomi architecture, Capcom CPS3 board. We've seen more indie type development in Border Down. And then, yes, the Dreamcast was also great at Neo Geo conversions. This was one of many people consider the greatest 2D fighter for Neo Geo, which came out around similar time frame as Street Fighter 3. Very animation heavy, a whole new look and cast for the Fatal Fury series. And that is Garou, Mark of the Wolves. So another beautiful piece here for Sega Dreamcast. Dreamcast doing wonders all across the board for 2D, 3D, and nostalgia. And I'm very pleased and very happy to have been able to talk about one of my favorite, our favorite systems of all time, which holds a lot of sentimental value. And barring the controller itself, the games and the memories have aged very well.
100%. And you can get Garou, what is it?
Mark of the Wolves. Garou, Mark of the Wolves.
Well, you can get Garou on Xbox Game Pass.
It's on Xbox Game Pass. It's on PlayStation 4 via the Neo Geo classic titles. It's also on Xbox in that form. I believe it's on Switch now as well. There are many different avenues, including 360. You can go back, PlayStation 2, many ways to own that wonderful title. And that is actually a great way to end Double Plus Episode 1. We are now getting the curtain call by the wonderful dogs, Hank and Rio. So,
hey, Hank, get over. Oh, you know, Hank puppy. So before we go, I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that this isn't some kind of ruse, that we do have a tremendous amount of Dreamcast collectibles, including the Resident Evil Code Veronica. This has got to be the Japanese one. Yeah.
It is. I have that one.
Yeah. But I wanted to make sure that everybody knew the reason we're doing this is to kind of share the library. So we can be like, hey, look at this. I got incoming Humanity's Last Battle. All right. Hey, thank you all for joining. Really appreciate it. Anthony, thank you for making the time.
Yeah, no problem at all.
All right. And
thank you again. And we'll catch everyone at home. We'll catch you soon. And we hope you guys and gals enjoy the day.
Have a wonderful holiday weekend.